This little-known solar technology is genius. Let's face it. Let's face it.
Hi guys, I'm EVM and welcome to a live stream. Please tell me immediately if you can actually hear me and see me, because I haven't done this for ages. Now, very briefly, I'll be re-uploading this in a much more edited version, so like a 10-minute edited video, just basically doing the Tesla bits really, because the live stream never gets watched after it's no longer live. So I'll re-upload this in a day or two, edited down to about 10 or 15 minutes. So yes, you can hear me. That's good. Right. So basically, what was it? Over 3 years ago now, I ordered, or rather, I put a reservation down for the Tesla Model 3. 3 years ago, and now, of course, we can you can order them. It turns out the reservation wasn't really needed, obviously, because everyone can order one now, and I probably only saved a month for the sake of giving Tesla £1,000. But anyway. The prices have been announced. You can order one. It looks like June for the first deliveries. But, of course, the prices are key. I've always said from day one that this will be at the very limit of our financial capabilities. And that was assuming a certain price bracket, of course, for the Model 3. Everyone was guessing, but everyone had a fairly decent idea. Echo? There's an echo. Ooh, don't know why that's going through. How's that? Has the echo gone now? Try that one. I think I was listening to myself. Hopefully that will solve that problem. I told you I hadn't done this live stream for ages. Right, brilliant. Okay, so starting again. Basically, prices have been announced. Oh my god, lots of people saying yes. Good. Right, the prices. For those that don't know, most of you seem to already know this now. The actual prices for what is three cars. Excuse me. 3 cars they're releasing. They are actually doing the Standard Range Plus, which is good. Not just the long range and the performance. I would never be able to afford the long range nor the performance. So for me, it was always about the Standard Range, and I always wanted the Standard Range Plus. That's the one I think was the best value. Standard Range is fine, certainly in the UK. And the Plus just gives that little extra. I'm not sure about the base yet. I think I'll stick with the Plus. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I haven't done this for ages. Right, so the prices, for those that don't know, for the Standard Range Plus of the Tesla Model 3 in the UK, this is the pre-government grant price. So this is the one that matters for the UK luxury car tax. And here we are, the estimated payments for cash. Ooh, ouchie. It's going to be basically, what, 41,400-ish. I haven't got it in front of me because I'm so well prepared. But basically, it's going to be quite a bit over the 40 grand for the Standard Range Plus. Which is a big problem. Because then you've got to factor in, £1,500, nearly £2,000 of the luxury car tax. That for those that don't know, if you buy a car for over £40,000 in the UK, you have to pay a tax basically, because it's an expensive car, which adds a good £1,500 to £2,000 on top of the car over about 5 years. So you're basically looking at a Standard Range Plus model, all in, for over 40 grand after the government grant, which I have to admit, that's a lot more for me. I'll say it now, I cannot afford that. I could not. I don't think I could justify buying any car for £42,000. It's just not going to happen. I mean, the car tax is free, so it's not the VED. It's a separate thing. Think of it as a separate, but that alone adds another £1,500, £2,000 over a few years onto the price. And I'm sorry, but that's a lot more. I was expecting for the Standard Range Plus 35 to 37. Let's say 37 for the Plus, and this is another, what, 4 or 5 grand on top of that. So we're already at his limit, as absolute limit financially. We'd have had to, we've been saving up for 3 years. It's been a good thing that this reservation's been going on so long because it's forced us to save up. But I just can't see it happening for us, to be honest. The standard range isn't available in the UK from what I understand, as in you can't order it off the menu, as it were. But I think we can guess that will be below 40 grand, will the standard range. And then when as in the non-plus one, so there's the basic without after the government grant, I'm guessing would be about 36 grand. So it's not too bad, but then it's the base Model 3. Do I want a base Model 3? I always try and say to people, don't get the poverty spec model. You'd be disappointed compared to the other ones, but if the cheapest version is still financially stretching us, is that worth it in the end? Because there are other alternatives now, of course, in EV terms anyway. So I don't know. What do you think on the live chat? Because this for me is too high, and leaves us with what, a couple of options. One, wait, hang on to the reservation, and wait until they drop the price. They will drop the price eventually, but knowing Tesla, it could be in a month or it could be in 18 months. And even then, that for me, for the standard range plus, needs to drop 4 or 5 grand for it to get within what I would call good value range. Yes, it's a premium car, as they call it. It's got other stuff. It's got autopilot, which I would love. I'm sure the car is fantastic. It's just higher than I think a lot of people in the UK anticipated. So, option 2, if that option 1 is to wait, option 2 would be to get something else. Pull the reservation back and maybe go for something else. But as some of you may have seen in the video I did a few weeks ago, there's nothing out right now that I would get that's comparable to the Model 3. If I wanted a Kona, if I wanted an e-Niro, the Volkswagen ID concept, comparable in range, but not out until next year. So no matter what happens, it's going to be next year before I get anything, which is good because I still need a bit more time to save up. So I think at the moment I'm going to hang fire. The PCP prices aren't available until for 2 or 3 weeks, from what Tesla has said. So that it would always going to be a PCP option for me, probably anyway. I'm disappointed and a little kick in the teeth, but I'm not too bothered about it. Is the fact that after 3 years of waiting for a reservation, I'm only going to be maybe a month ahead of everyone else that's never put a reservation down. You can order one right now, but reservation holders do take priority. So even if lots of people order it now, if you're a reservation holder, you will get it before them. So you're only talking a month or two's benefit at most for having a reservation for well over 3 years. I'm not too bothered, I guess, because that means I've had £1,000 set aside that I'm not going to blow on a laptop or something for the car. But yeah, considering Elon Musk, I'm not sure if people remember, he tweeted maybe 3 years ago that in the UK the base version, the cheapest version, will be no more than 30 grand after the government grant. Sorry, before the government grant. Now I assumed that won't be true. It wouldn't be missed, but I didn't think it would be missed by like £9,000. That's for the basic, not even the range plus. So it's quite disappointing. So yeah, for those that have just joined, remember the price on the website, which is £38,050. Well, 38,900 once you include the fees and document fees and stuff, is after the government grant. So it's above the 40 grand luxury car tax, which adds another £1,500, £200, which is what I've said a few times now. So, so yeah, do I wait until it comes down in price? If it comes, I mean, that could take 2 years, could take more, or do I think, you know what, I'm gonna have to get something else. We have a car, we have a Leaf. There's no finance on it or lease or anything. There's nothing to expire, so we can wait if necessary. Time is on our side. But do I want to wait anywhere from a year maybe to 3 years to get a car I've already waited 3 years for, when there'll be no perceivable benefit in having a reservation. So I think it's likely I'll be pulling the reservation back just to get that back in my hands. One thing I did think about is that an e-Niro, say, or a Kona, or the Volkswagen ID Concept, which their order books open up a week today, put a deposit down on everything basically, or whatever reservation. If I can afford it, put one on the ID Concept, put one on an e-Niro, say, and whichever one arrives first, get that. Maybe that's what I should do. But I think I'm a little bit disappointed, if I'm honest. I think it's $4 or $5 grand too dear, considering what they pay in America to what we pay here. And I know there's the usual UK rip-off thing and all that, and we should really have expected it, but I'm annoyed, really. I think I don't know. A lot of people saying the insurance is significantly higher for the Tesla Model 3, so that has to be factored in as well, I guess. Oh, somebody has donated $2. Thank you very much. I've forgotten to turn that on. And there's a lot of people saying, why don't you crowdfund the Model 3? I do not think I could do that. To get people to pay for you, to donate, to pay for a car, a luxury car at that, I don't think I could do that. You know, if I could suddenly raise tens of thousands of pounds, I couldn't keep it. I feel really bad. You know, there's charity, there's all sorts of... I'd love to do it because I'm getting something for nothing. I don't think I could do that. So I appreciate all these, crowdfund it all, but I think people who crowdfund a car, an expensive car, I think that's a bit cheeky. Is that right? Would that be right? I mean, I don't think I help people enough to warrant them giving me money for a car. You know, if I need a new kidney, I'll be the first one putting it up. But yeah, the channel makes very little money, so that's not going to fund it. But either way, we've got to be realistic here. Do I want to pay over 40 grand, tax included, for any car? As a Yorkshireman, that's a bit of a problem. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Let's go to the chat. There's a lot of people on there saying that they're thinking of cancelling theirs. I do think Tesla will get a flurry of cancellations, to be honest, for the reservations, because this is more expensive than anticipated, a fair bit. I could sell the wife. I could sell my daughter. That might be, that's an idea there. If anyone will take it, you can have it for free. Kidding, of course. Right, so the other options, e-Niro, Kona, the Volkswagen ID Concept. Am I missing anything from that? I'm on about stuff that's coming out within the next 12-ish months. The e-Niro, I think, because I've done the video on the Kona, and it's a very similar car. I think will be very good, but of course has got at least a year's waiting list on that. The Kona probably again, it'll be at least next year. The ID Concept, I still don't buy into the fact it's going to be as cheap as they say it is. I just can't. I can't think that. I don't think that will happen straight away. And I also think it's going to be a lot smaller than people think. For me, it's going to be like a Polo size car. Good range, brilliant, but we need a family size car. We have the Mini, of course, which is fine for all stuff apart from holidays and camping, stuff we do a lot. We want to drive around Europe with whatever we do next. Thank you, Jeff Fleet, for the donation. Well received. But I don't think the Volkswagen ID Concept will be big enough for a proper family car. It'll do. It'll manage. We did when in an Escort or whatever years ago. But ultimately, I think, I don't know. I've just got this nagging thing in my mind that the Volkswagen one will be a bit too small. I'm not sure if anybody's got seen any actual sizes or comparisons. I don't think it's a Golf, is it? I think it's smaller than that. But if you put your name down on day one for the ID Concept, like the smug people with the Konas are doing now, or the e-Niros, it's going to hold its value extremely well for the limited numbers that it will no doubt trickle out in. So you could keep an ID Concept or a Nero or a Kona for a year, and by that point, 2021, the Model 3 might be cheaper and readily available. I don't know. Or I could keep the Leaf until the Model 3 is cheaper, but I've had one for 4 years and it's getting a bit boring, if I'm honest. Right, what's going on the chats? Hello to everyone, thank you for watching. A few people cancelling their Model 3 reservations. If anybody can do some research online right now, Google it, see if you can find out what the ID Concept is, size-wise. Skoda Vision, there's a lot of stuff coming out, but no matter what I get, it'll be next year. But I'm going to have to put my name down on it this year, like within the next few weeks, realistically, whether it's the e-Nero, Kona or Volkswagen. So I'm going to have to decide in the next few weeks, even though it's a year away. Someone saying here, yes, it's a tiny car, basically hatch. So if it's the size of a Mini, then I'm going to have to replace the Mini with someone else. And I love the Mini. I don't want to change that. Thank you, Pete James, for the super chat donation. Thank you very much. The reservation is fully refundable. So this reservation I've had for 3 years with Tesla, I can get back. That's why I wasn't too worried about it. If I didn't like it or I couldn't afford it, I can always get my money back. So it was a bit of a no-brainer to a point. Right, ID is Golf size. Some people are saying it's a small one. Can anyone confirm this? Because that's going to be a key thing for us. Cheap Model S. No such thing. I've had a brief look on Auto Trader today. The cheapest Model S I could find was about 38 grand, and that was for the 2014 model. I think I'd rather get the Model 3 for that price. Right, what else have we got? Good news for us Leaf owners. Values are going to keep going up. Not a bad thing. A lot of people going on about the MG EZS. I don't know, MG aren't known for their great cars, even though they've gone all Chinese now. So I don't know about that, but you never know, it might be very good. Model 3 has no hatch. ID will be awesome. It doesn't bother me the fact it's not a hatchback, the Model 3. It's got the frunk, or the fruit as I call it. It's got 2 boots. It'll be practical enough. I'm not too concerned about that one. We've got Mark Webber. Yes, you ordered a Kona before everyone else. Yes, I wish I'd have sort of done that myself to a point, because it's gone up in value, as a lot of EVs have, of course. What else have we got? Right. Don't buy a Model S. No, it's too expensive, and I won't want one out of warranty, quite frankly. We've got an EV now, so we don't need to get something just for the sake of getting an EV. So we can wait. Tesla Roadster would be very nice. The chat is going up so fast I can't keep up with this, so apologies if I do miss a few people. Oh, Volkswagen ID. Length is 4,100, so 4.1 metres basically by 1.8, which is smaller than an e-Golf. Could you actually check how much the e-Golf is in length terms, just so we can compare it? Because I could manage with this slightly smaller one, but we do camping a lot, and the Leaf is literally packed to the rafters, and that's kind of Golf size-ish. So compare it for us if you could. Oh, here we go. Volkswagen ID length in between the Polo and the Golf. Right. So I suppose you'd have to sit in one, but that means I'm going to have to put a deposit down on something if I want one before I see it again. I'm just going to end up reserving lots of cars and never owning them at this rate. Put your order in this morning. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. The Model 3 is going to be a brilliant car. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. I just can't bring myself to spend. I mean, I can't believe I talked myself into spending 30 odd grand, let alone 40 plus. And the residuals. Someone's mentioned the residuals there. I think the Model 3 residuals are going to be strong, but just with the fact it's a 40 grand car, you lose even 30% is extremely low depreciation. You lose 30% of 40 grand. Pardon me, 12 grand. It's a lot of money, considering that my Leaf is worth 13 grand. Yeah. I don't think I can manage that one, and I tend to keep my cars like between 2 and 4 years before I get bored. I don't think I'll be able to do that with that. So yeah, 35 grandish, 33 grandish. I could manage that, and then we're into kind of E-Nero levels. So it's a tough one. Is this? I don't know what to do, because if they bring out the PCP prices and I think I can afford that, I'm then going to be thinking, oh, can I get? I don't know. Total cost of ownership for me is everything. So if I want to keep the Model 3 at the end of the PCP deal, there's going to be one hell of a balloon payment at the end, which means I won't be able to keep it. So I don't know. Yes, it's true. I mean, when I think about the cars I grew up with, was predominantly just Escorts, and then we ended up, when we were older, granted, with the Metro, and you manage, don't you? So maybe we've been spoiled. The e-Golf is 4,270, so it is a bit longer than the ID Concept, but is the ID Concept better packaged? This is going to be tough. I hope they're going to give us a lot more details before they release the order books a week today. Right. Okay, so where do I hold on to the reservation for now? I certainly am going to, until we get the PCP deals and we figure out what's going to happen next. Because the way I look at it, let's say I got an E-Nero, for the sake of argument, next March, if I was lucky, and then the Model 3 starts to drop in value, I'll keep the E-Nero for maybe up to a year. I doubt it'll drop in value very much at all, if at all, and then I can just trade it in for the Model 3. So, maybe that's the best way of doing this. If I'm going to get myself a longer range car, which I do want, I think it's time now. I've had a car that's had 100, 110 mile range for all these years, and I'm ready to the next step. We want to go to Oslo. We almost went this year, but we can't afford it, of course, because we're saving up for a Tesla. And I thought, well, could I do it in the Leaf? Yes, it's possible, but it'd be significantly easier in a car with a 200 mile range compared to a 100 mile range. So I think I'm ready to do stuff. We've not gone on a proper holiday for 10 years. Not been on a plane for 10. My daughter's 8. She's never been on a plane. We've been camping a lot. We've had holidays, but not what I'd call a big holiday. Or you know what I mean. Where you save up and you do it. We moved house 5 years ago, so that took most of the money out. But ultimately, we're ready to start spending some on us. Let's say there's 2 significant birthdays coming up in the next 18 months, and then you want to do something for that. And for me, a car would be nice. Right, what does Mrs. EV think of the prices of the Model 3? Well, I've only just sent a brief picture, so we haven't actually discussed it yet, because they're off. She's swimming at the moment, is Alice, doing swimming lessons. So I just sent her the monthlies, and at the moment the only monthly price that Tesla give you is for just standard hire purchase, so just a basic loan. So a standard loan, so there's no balloon payment at the end. If you put a £10,000 deposit down on a Model 3, the Plus version, the standard range Plus, and got a 5-year term, so a 5-year loan with a 10 grand deposit, you'll still be paying £543 a month over 5 years. But you will own the car at the end of that. So it's a mini mortgage, or it's a mortgage to something. I mean, it's a huge amount of money on what is just a car, and obviously it's all relative to what your income is, but there's no way I could justify that. Could we afford it? Yes, but we'd have to sacrifice a lot to do it, and a car's not worth that. It really isn't. Not to me anyway. Not when you've got a family and stuff like that, and all the stuff that comes with it. Right. Okay. The actual list is over £40,000. Yes, it is. Rent a Model S for the holiday. Looked into that, but they're not cheap. But yeah, that's a possibility. I just like the idea of driving across Europe in a Leaf. The idea was they would fly to Oslo and I would meet them there in the Leaf. In fact, yeah, let me know now, actually. Would you watch a video on about... No, in fact, I'll rephrase that. Would you think a video about the Leaf, me driving from Yorkshire to Oslo and back in a Nissan Leaf, a 100-mile range car, would be popular on YouTube? Not would you watch it, but do you think it'd be worth the time and expenditure to do that? That would be one hell of a challenge. I think from memory it's 1,400 miles each way, and of course figuring out European charging. I've thought about doing that a few times, but to be honest, the hardest thing at the moment, channel-wise, is time. You know, when you've got a full-time job and a family, you know, poor me, it just leaves the weekends. I have to take holidays if I do anything even slightly big on for the channel. Exciting news for those that don't know. I'll next Tuesday, so less than a week today, next Tuesday, I get a UK press car, an actual press car from a manufacturer. I won't tell you who yet. For a week, I've got a full electric car coming on Tuesday for a week. And both me and Harry, who's been on the channel before, are going to Scotland to do the North Coast 500 again. So, yeah, I'll be getting a few videos out of that. I'll be milking that bad boy. So look forward to those, and we'll be doing a few videos from that. Not necessarily around just the car, but I think that should be good fun. Right, where are we? Yes, quite a few people would think the Oslo idea is fun. I think I just need to take a week off work to do it. The point with the M3 is the longer range means you stop less. Stopping is the most interesting part of the road trip. It is, but when you can only do 80 miles between hops at most, and you're in a European country where you don't know what the charging's like and things like that, it's a bit of a challenge. And time, of course. I did the North Coast 530 kilowatt hour Leaf from Portsmouth up there and back. Yes, I have thought about doing it in the Leaf. I mean, it's 385 miles to Inverness, which is the start of the NC 500. We'll be doing this in this other car. We'll be setting off Tuesday, getting to Inverness Tuesday night, and then coming back down for Friday morning. So effectively, doing it in 2 days, the North Coast. You'll find out what car it is, obviously, in a week or so. In fact, look on Twitter. I'll be hammering the Twitter pictures, no doubt. You wouldn't do the Oslo, trip in a Tesla, let alone a Leaf. Well, that's fun. I mean, I did a 600-mile trip in 1 day in the Leaf around the UK, so it is possible, but I'm not sure if it'd be idiotic. Right. Did Tesla give you Part X offer? I've not even looked. I would always sell my Leaf privately. I won't Part X it because you don't get enough Part X from any dealer, and I doubt Tesla would probably want to take it, to be honest. So I'd just sell that privately. To be honest, I always do. Right, where are we? iPace, phenomenally more expensive than I can afford. I think, was it 50,000 that starts at? Obviously the Polestar 2 in 18 months or more when they do the cheaper versions of that. So basically it keeps on getting pushed back. So I think it's going to get to a time where I'm just going to have to say, no, I'm going to go for this. Even if I keep it a year and then get a Tesla or a Polestar. That would make the most sense. Could you please say Bionic? Not sure why that. Bionic? Okay. And then say Ionic. Ionic. I prefer Ionic. Because it ends with a Q, not a C. Stuart Wright. Anyway, could you rent out the Tesla Model 3 a few days a month to cover the extra cost? I wouldn't know how or who to. We would probably need it Monday to Friday just for the commuting that we do. And then there's the idea of having strangers rent. And you all know how we treat rental cars. Having strangers rent my car out. Ooh. Ionic has got Q on the end, not C. So I don't care if it's pronounced wrong. A lot of people saying they won't drop the price of the Model 3. I think they will eventually. A year from now on that, when when the competition is much greater. They do. I mean, look at the Model S. That's come down in price a fair bit. Might not happen for a while, granted, but yes. Oslo in a Twizy. I think that'd be torturous. I did Dover and back in my Leaf in 2014. Yeah, when there was no pumps at all. Hello to everyone. Hello. Always sell the car private, definitely. I'm just going through a few of the chats here. Road trip videos are always fun to watch. I hope so. I mean, I think more people tend to click on them, but whether or not they enjoy them or not. That's the silly thing about YouTube. You do a video. One of my most popular videos I did in a few hours, and then a few more hours editing. It was one of those where I couldn't think of anything to do, which is frequent. And I thought, right, okay, so I'll do the video. Did it that morning, edited it, put it up, and it's been the most popular video I've ever done. And then on some videos, you can spend 2 weeks filming it bit by bit, or on a road trip, and then ages editing it, and hardly anyone watches it. It's so infuriating. But I think it'd be a nice holiday. Like I say, you get to see a lot en route in an EV journey. The I-Pace is actually fairly cheap. EVEZ will loan you the car month to month for £800, including insurance and charging. £800 a month? I'd love to see your mortgage if you think £800 a month is cheap. Good God. Wow. I mean, we've got a Mini Cooper S. It's just gone over 3 years old. Not particularly a cheap car, but not an expensive one. That's costing me £247 a month. And in a couple of years, it'll be mine. £800 a month? Ooh. Wow. Ouch. To be fair, £35,000, £35,917 before sales and tax incentive is a good price for the standard range plus with a. Well, it's not though. It's 38,900, not 35 before sales tax. Well, yeah, but what I end up paying is the only one I care about. Right, so no option to part X on the configurator. No, there isn't, but I won't be doing that anyway. Don't overlook the Kona. The Kona, it was a fantastic car, and I probably could get away with one, but the back seats in the boot weren't big enough, ideally for me. Which is why the e-Niro is so, it's basically the Kona but with a bigger rear. It's just got, from what I understand, a 12 to 15 month lead time to get an e-Niro. No, I mean, again, like as I said in the previous video, it's the supercharger network which made me want to stick with Tesla. It makes long journeys infinitely easier. But if you can't afford it, you can't afford it, I guess. You got to live within your means, I guess. Fickle YouTubers. How am I fickle? I want a car I can't afford. That's not fickle, that's realistic. Right. 208. Electric 208. I'm not sure about that one. I think there are better. I think I'd probably go for the Volkswagen one over that. I'm paying $400 for my Leaf 40 Tecna. 5 years, it'll be mine. Assuming it hasn't set on fire. Yeah, exactly. It's all relative, isn't it? £800 a month for the I-Pace for an 80 grand car for insurance and charging. Yeah, it's not bad value. I just can't simply afford it, but that's for £800 a month, I could get probably an Aston Martin for that used, or something, something out there. So this is what I mean. It's all relative. A Tesla Model 3 is a fantastic car, but for me, it's not worth just over 40 odd grand for a standard range plus model. Not given what's coming out as well. So this is the problem. What it's worth to me, it'll be different to someone else. If you think 41 grand for what it does is you can afford it and it's not a problem, I'm sure it'll be a great car. But I think it's because it was expected and kind of said for a few years before even the American pricing was announced. Between 30 and 35 grand. I remember, in fact, I've got it saved somewhere, a tweet from Elon Musk saying it will be no more than £30,000 before the government grant. And that is, and I know they can miss this, but missing it by 9 grand nearly is, well, no, that'd be the base, wouldn't it? 5 or 6. That's a percentage. That's huge as a percentage. It's too much, and that's what I'm kind of annoyed at. What route would you take to Oslo? Isn't there a couple of car ferries into Europe? Unfortunately, there used to be a Hull directly to Oslo ferry, but they don't do it anymore. They stopped it a few years ago. So I would probably drive down south, mum and dad, and then hop over on the Channel Tunnel because it's a lot cheaper than the ferry, and then drive through France, Belgium, Holland, Denmark, Sweden, and up that way. once you factor in the ferries, you're adding like £600-700 to the trip, and by that point you might as well just fly to Oslo and rent a Tesla. So that's kind of the problem I have there. Excuse me. There's a second Zoe, but again, it's not quite big enough for me, and I don't know what. I'm hoping it's not just going to be a facelift. I'm hoping it's going to be better, bigger car. I wouldn't class that, other than range, which is significantly high. I wouldn't class that much of an upgrade over the Leaf I have. Only the range bit, if you know what I mean. You know, the feel of it, the build of it, all that. I want something that's a step up from the car I have. I want to try and progress each time I get a new car. Thank you for your referral to Octopus. In fact, thank you to everyone for the Octopus referrals. Let's say I've done very well out of the Octopus referrals to an almost embarrassing degree. So thank you for that. Anyone that doesn't know what I'm on about, the cheapest tariff for EV drivers at the moment seems to be Octopus Energy, and I proved that in one of the previous videos. Go and have a look. Not showing the e-Nero, but we use a roof box regularly with our Kona. We travel a lot from Inverness. Yeah, roof box, I guess. There are other ways around this. But even the Kona's got in the next year until it's out. See, that's why the e-Nero is fully loaded and it's £33,000. Is the standard range plus? No, in fact, no. It's the basic, normal, standard range. I mean, not the plus. So the basic Model 3. Is that worth £5,000-6,000 more than a fully loaded e-Nero? Even though the e-Nero's got a slightly higher range as well, if you're bothered about that. So what do you think about that? e-Nero fully loaded for 33 grand, or another £4,000-6,000 extra for the base Model 3, which of course will come. Does that come with autopilot? No, it don't come with autopilot, does it? I would say that it's a tough one, is that? Because you get the supercharger network on the Tesla side, but the Kona's better spec and longer range. Who knows? Time will tell, I guess. Right. So does the guy on Twitter not have to do a video? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the guy who said that, you know, when I got my Tesla Model 3, I had to do a video saying he loves Elon Musk. Well, I don't know. I mean, that was the point. When I got mine, he would have to do a video, and he hates Tesla, by the way. He said the car would never turn up, and then Tesla would go bust, and he said that for years. But ultimately, if I could afford it, I could have the car. So I think he still has to do the video, to be honest, even though I can't afford the car. But yeah, some points he raises are valid, but a lot of it is just, I don't understand it. Right, one thing, sir, the debate about whether people want EVs anymore is over. The demand is there, we just need cars at the right price. Definitely. Ordered my Model 3 930 this morning. Couple thousand more than expected, but still well worth it to me. All-wheel drive, full self-drive and premium paint, otherwise standard spec. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, if I was, you know, earning more and this was, you know, within my price bracket, as it were, I'd be ordering it right now, hands down. But again, maybe it's the Yorkshireman in me. 40 odd grand on a car when we've still got a fair bit to do in the house, and yeah, we'd love to do a big sort of Florida trip. You know, she's 8-year-old now. When you know, a 10-year-old to Florida, that'd be fantastic. That ain't cheap. So I think the sacrifices to get the Model 3 aren't worth it for me. That's part of it there. Right. Some people are saying Model 3. Some people are saying e-Nero. This is dividing it a bit. I believe the standard is not coming to the UK at all. I've not heard that one. Interesting. Status versus practicality. Model 3 versus e-Nero. I think the Model 3 is practical, and the e-Nero I think is as well. So, but yeah, the Model 3 is a bigger status symbol, probably. You know, the e-Nero just looks like a standard Kia to most people, I guess. Yeah. Right. According to the reports I saw, the ID is the size of a Golf with the interior space of a Passat. Does that include the boot? In fact, can anyone Google how big the ID boot is in litre terms and then compare that to the Golf? See if that's around. 7-year loan on a Model 3. And if it does earn you money on network and that comes true, you can pay it off early. I think the trouble is the monthly repayments. I always buy something assuming that you have to be able to afford it if one of you loses your job or something happens. And if I or my wife lost my job, we would struggle to pay at that price for the Model 3. So I wouldn't want to rely on renting the thing out to pay for it. You can't blame me for that. Thank you so much, EVM. You talked me out of placing an order today and having to explain it to my wife. Yeah, I think let's face it, we've all done this, haven't we? You know, we've used man maths to justify things. When you have to justify it to yourself, you know deep down you shouldn't be doing it. And that's kind of how I feel with this. Could we do it? Yeah, I'm trying to find a way to be able to afford it, and that's the problem. I shouldn't have to. We obviously can't afford it if I went to trying to man maths it. EVs are overpriced on purpose. At the moment, I think the fact that lack of supply is keeping demand high, they don't need to drop the price. I mean, some people are saying it should have been $39,999, so it didn't come into the UK kind of luxury tax bracket. But ultimately, Tesla know they're going to sell a load, certainly for the next month or 2 or 3 or 4. So you wouldn't reduce the price of something if you knew you could get the higher price for it, would you? So I can understand why they're doing that. But I do think they will reduce the price of the standard range plus below 40 grand within the year. I mean, it's only a small reduction and it's still expensive, but I don't know. Tesla does that, doesn't it? They change the price on an almost monthly basis, so, you know, watch this space. Upcoming Mini? No, because from what I understand, it's going to have a 150-mile range, which is a bit silly for me, considering all the other stuff coming out. And for me, a Mini, I've already got a Mini, of course, and the John Cooper Works exhaust makes it a much more fun Mini. Still a petrol head at heart, I'm afraid. 380 litres, is that the size of the boot of the ID Concept? If it is, what's that compared to a Golf? I can't really Google very easily right now. Where are we? Is it me or is the picture crooked? Like this one. It's because the wall is... The angle of this is making it look crooked. Or maybe it isn't, maybe you're right. There you go. Right, okay. Factor in petrol, and Model 3 is free after 150,000 miles. Yes, but you could say that factor in petrol, the e-Nero would be free after 100,000 miles. But I know where you're going. That's the man maths working hard there. Didn't see the whole stream, but you said you need it under 40,000, and the base price I'm seeing on the webpage is 38,900. No, that's not the base price. That is the price after the government grant. The base price is 38,900, and then £3,500 on top. So ultimately, you're looking at 41 and a bit as a list price, which is what the tax is based from. So a lot of people are getting duped, confused with the pricing, the way that Tesla do the pricing. I mean, it's only £385 a month after savings. I hate that. That's ridiculous. ID Neo is 380 litres. Golf is 380 litres. Right, so they're not stating for the ID Concept. Right, so it's going to be interesting. Maybe the ID is a possibility. How much would you want to pay for the Model 3? I think for me, for the Standard Range Plus, which is the one I always anticipate going for, getting a Tesla without autopilot for me is a little bit pointless, considering the long journeys I would be doing in it. So I think 35,000 after government grant, so 38 list-ish. That's what it's worth to me, and I think that's what a lot of people expected it to be at, certainly given the strong hints when everyone was asked to put the reservation deposit down. So I think a few people are feeling a little bit duped into the, oh yeah, it's going to be about 30 grand, maybe 35, and we're starting out at above 40. And even though the base isn't out yet, it's not going to be anywhere near 30, is it? Not for quite some time. So yeah, when I consider how much I paid for my Nissan Leaf, 30 kilowatt hour Nissan Leaf, no battery lease, £15,600 I paid for that. It's not far off 3 times the price of the Leaf. It's not 3 times the car. So I don't know, I think everything's just gone up in value. So yeah, I've just got to face facts. I can't afford it at this time. So what we're going to do is do a video in the next week or two. We're going to film it in Scotland whilst we're up there. Yeah, probably just discussing this. What are the alternatives? You know, obviously I'll be talking with my wife beforehand, and we'll decide what we're going to do. Whether we're going to pull the reservation back or not. That's the next thing to decide. Right. So, didn't you tell us your ideal spec Model 3, assuming it would have been under 40k in total? Yeah, but it's not. Loving all these Tesla fanboys being gutted at the UK price. It's amazing how why do people hate Teslas or people who own Teslas? I know they can be a bit smug at times, but they are the best in what they do. Not the cheapest, but the best. No one can argue that. The Tesla Model S that came out all those years ago still hasn't been surpassed in range terms, certainly. So I don't understand why people hate it. It's almost like people hate. I remember seeing an Aston Martin a Lamborghini pass me near where I live. Never seen it since. And he drove past just normally, not putting his foot down, and these two lasses just went like that as he drove past. When did it become a bad thing to be successful and to be able to afford nice things? It baffles me. It's like, oh, you got Tesla, you're rich, so you're a dickhead. Why? Why is this a thing? Right. So I'm missing out on a Tesla Model 3 for £4,000. It's £4,000, man. Like I said, I was pushing it financially to get it at the price I hoped it would be. The extra 4, 5, 6 grand just means I can't justify it. UK Model 3 is essentially 16% more in the UK than the US at current exchange rates. Yep. Tesla could sell it at $39,999 to beat the luxury tax, but they don't need to, which is probably why they're going to sell. So you wouldn't sell your car cheaper, would you, if you knew you could get a higher price for it? Turn up the volume. No one's complained, so I think maybe you need to turn up the volume. Yes, the 30 kilowatt hour price was awesome at the time. Yeah, the discounts have completely disappeared on them. Let's be honest though, Kona, Leaf and e-Niro sales will be dead now Model 3 has arrived. I don't think it will be, because there's as I said, even if you assume the base Model 3 at £36,000, say, 35, 36, so it's about £2,000 to £4,000 dearer than a fully loaded e-Niro, and doesn't have as big a range. So I don't think that. Right. An i3. I'd love an i3, but the only one I'd want at the moment is an i3S, and I'd have to get the current battery version because I want a bigger range car. It's 38 grand for a used i3S. 38. It's the same price as a Model 3, and that's a bit much for me. And it's been around a long time, and it's still the same car, still the same interior. I'd want something new if I'm spending £30,000 on it. Right, where was it? 10% of new cars in London are all electric. Really? Nobody likes unexpected success. Maybe that's why people hate Tesla. Yeah, perhaps. I think it's because Elon is a fraud. If he produces a car at the price people want to pay, who does it matter? Does anybody trust anybody? I mean, I think it's because Elon is a fraud. That's why people hate Tesla. Carlos Ghosn, or whatever his name is, from Nissan, he's been arrested. He is a fraud. But no one's having a go at Nissan because their CEO has literally been arrested. So I'm not buying. It's not just that. I think people just don't like other successful people for some reason. I mean, some Americans hate Tesla. Why would you not want an American company to be successful if you're American? Love my i3, but Model 3 is definitely the next proper step forward. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Although the i4, I think it is, that looks interesting. Excuse me. Right. Would be crazy to reduce the price on Model 3 if it's selling. Look at the corner. They put the price up. Yes, I mean, the thing with we've got to remember the e-Niro, that's effectively a launch edition. It's fully loaded. So if they take a few options off, they could make it cheaper. But when they're all sold out for the next 2 years, you're not going to, are you? We're just going to have to wait longer for the £35,000 M3. Yeah, I think it will be. I have the i3S, and I'd still swap to the Model 3. Autopilot, supercharger network. It's a Tesla. Yeah, I agree. I just can't afford it, unfortunately. So that's just me not working hard enough. If you can, I would probably do the same. But for me, the i3S is what the i3 should have been from day one. Wider tyres, slightly lower. Actually looks like a hot hatch. Excuse me. I love my Tesla Model X myself. I'm successful antiques dealer. Well, fine. I have no problems with people who have more money than me, which I think a lot of people online do. That guy's got something I don't have or can't afford. I mean, people have a go at me for running an electric car because it's for the upper classes. I just think, well, no. We've saved up years for something. We both work hard. We don't spend money where we don't need to. And ultimately, if you can't afford something, work harder. I couldn't afford anything, everything I want, but, if I want it, I'm going to have to work for it, aren't you? So, yeah, anyway, rant over. Excuse me. Right, I'll probably come off soon because I've been on for nearly an hour. So any questions, say it now. I don't think I'll be able to get a video up this weekend, if I'm honest. So I'll probably just edit this right down to anything worthwhile and just re-upload it for those that never click on a 1 hour video and rightly so. But yeah, we'll be setting off Tuesday to do the North Coast 500 in the UK press car. The first ever press car the channel has been given by the manufacturer. This is very exciting for me. So yeah, we'll be taking that up to Scotland and back. I don't want to tell people what it is yet, so try and guess. But we'll be doing several videos, and I might even do a live stream if I can find somewhere with Wi-Fi, so you can ask questions. Keep an eye on my Twitter feed. I'll be telling you what it is on the Tuesday. Then, pardon me. So any questions about the car that I'm not telling you about, keep an eye on that. At EVManUK, it says it at the bottom of the video. UK prices are above French and German by a few thousand. But that's true of every car on sale. Yep, I've read so. I could probably sell my e-Niro when it arrives and make enough to get an M3. Yeah, I mean, I've just had a look on Auto Trader. There are no e-Niros used, nearly new or anything. There are none for sale right now. Not one. I've seen a few corners. So yeah, I don't think that might get slapped up like that. I'd even consider doing it myself, getting a nearly new one and paying a little extra for it. But you got to remember, I wasn't expecting a car until the end of this year, starting next anyway. So let's not jump ahead of ourselves here. EV is more of a geek thing. I think it was. And I understand what you mean by EVs and geek thing, but I think now it's more in the public consciousness. So yeah, there's that. Patience is key. Patience is key. I've been waiting over 3 years so far. There's only so much patience I've got. Right, where are we? Will it come with CCS charging? Yes, it will, and most superchargers have been upgraded in the UK. So I don't think it belongs for all. That's everywhere. Are still buying Tesla? Shame if you don't, but I would understand. I can't afford one, as So anyone that's just joined, no. At the current prices, this is too expensive for me. It's about £5 or £6 more than I either hoped or expected, or we were told a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. So yeah, it's it's disappointing, but it is what it is, isn't it? Let's get going with it. Right, I love Jaguar I-Pace. I love one too, but that's even more expensive. When we were looking at getting the Kona, we had a Leaf before. One thing that was important to me was it had to have CCS. I think everything will in Europe, to be honest, from now on, even the next Zoe. Right, any more questions before I disappear? Right, been on nearly an hour. I prefer, you know what, I don't know why I don't do more of these live streams. It's a damn sight easier than filming something, editing it. Hours, basically. And you get to talk and interact with people. So maybe I should carry on doing more of these. Not instead of videos, but as well as. And before anyone else asks, because I get this in a lot on Twitter at the moment, and someone here, I won't be doing a crowdfunding thing to pay for the Tesla, because as I said before, that just wouldn't feel right. Give me money for a premium luxury car, please, instead of to charity. I couldn't do that. I think people that say that crowdfund a holiday or a car, it's cheeky, and I won't have the gall, to be honest. I don't know how people do it. I guess if you're getting something for naught, then there's your reward. But no, I won't be getting. I won't be doing that as much as I'd love to do. But yeah, things are happening. The channel is growing. Not really making any money out of it, but I've got someone has asked me to sponsor a video. Believe it or not, an actual proper company, not a Chinese dashcam manufacturer. So you never know, things might happen. Yeah. So anything else before I disappear? Any questions about anything, Tesla or otherwise? I don't have to. Yes, I'll be at Fully Charged Live on the Saturday, Sunday. Can't do the Friday, unfortunately. Family things are in the way, but yeah, I'll be there on the Saturday and I think Sunday as well, staying overnight. So if anyone's at Fully Charged Live, I'll definitely be down there. That was good fun last time. I won't be taking the Leaf though, because there'll be thousands of or hundreds of EVs descending on the same place, and the charging infrastructure will be a nightmare. Still working for the government. I hope that's a joke. BMW 330e an option? No, because it's a hybrid. And there's no point going. I've got a full EV now, so I don't really need. Hybrid won't be worth doing. I'll be extremely busy at Silverstone, and I've already got stuff pre-arranged, so I don't think I'll be able to actually meet anybody on here. I mean, I'll be around. I'll be wandering around. If it was anything like last time, I literally didn't see any stands because I was only there for the one day at Fully Charged, and I couldn't walk a few feet without someone stopping me and talking to me, which was great. It was like being famous for a day. So I think 2 days and what will be a busier event as well will you'll see me around. Could you do or use Streamlabs? What's that? So we could donate a bit for all your hard work. I don't know what that is, if I'm honest. I mean, alright, for anyone that's still around, I've thought, for example, I mean, my biggest problem is time, ultimately. If I wanted, let's say, taking the Leaf to Oslo and back, time is the biggest problem. I have to take holidays from work to be able to do this sort of stuff, and there's only so many of those, and there's no way I can do that instead of going on holiday with my family. But obviously money is a big thing as well. So I'm not sure how I fund this crowd showing, but sharing or what, but would it be worth crowdfunding or however it's done for a specific video? Like, I need £400 to drive to Oslo and back in a Leaf. Would that be a thing? Rather than fund something ridiculous like a car, just fund individual videos and do it that way. Not all of it, you know. I don't expect, you know, to do everything. I mean, at the moment, I would say I spend more on the video than you know, I've been doing this for over 3 years, and I've spent substantially more money on the channel than I've got back from it. I'm not doing this to make money, and I certainly don't want to do it full time, unless it makes a ton of money, which it won't. But there are some stuff I can't do. For example, I can hire an iPace. The e-tron is coming to a rental company very soon, but it's going to be like £300 for a day's rental. So would that be something that's worth doing? Because then I'd be able to rent that out and do videos for it. They want a £500 deposit, which you get it back, but basically you've got £300 for the rental, say, and then £500 deposit coming out your bank on one day. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that sort of thing, because I could have done the iPace video quite a while back. I could have done, you know, I might be able to do the e-tron one, but I can't fund that myself. So would that be something? Patreon. A lot of people have mentioned Patreon. Now, this is something I've been toying with for quite some time, but I've just done a video for the BBC. You know, I'm going to be on the BBC in the next month or two, again. And the one thing that taught me, even though it was, you know, I won't get paid or anything, is I had to get it done within a few days. They didn't come up here. I filmed it myself and sent them the video files. When you have to do something to a time frame, certainly given the limited time I have, I mean, work's nuts. I've got, obviously, you know, family stuff, full-time job, all the usual sort of stuff that everyone else has. When you got to do something, or you're getting paid for it, if I had a Patreon campaign that was successful, I would have to do stuff all the time. Have to do weekly videos. Have to do good videos. Have to do, you know, like, I'd have to justify the Patreon campaign. And when you have to do something, because sometimes, let's face it, it's like, you know what, I'm knackered, I'm tired, I'm ill, I genuinely don't have time. We're going on a family holiday for 2 weeks, so when do I get the video in? You know, when you have to do some things, it changes the whole thing of it. If I don't do a video this weekend, I just don't do a video this weekend. But if people are donating to the channel, that's a different thing. That's a different kettle of fish. So this is why I haven't done a Patreon or Patreon, whatever you call it, yet, or if at all, because it puts an onus on you to do stuff. So I don't know. What do people think about that? You could always crowdfund the difference between 38 and 40. I can't. I've said this before. If you've just joined it, I couldn't crowdfund people to buy a car for me. It wouldn't feel right. You know, if I end up getting £4,000 or £5,000 in crowdfunding to help fund a car instead of charity or something, it just feels wrong. Crowdfunding to pay for a video at a few £100, I can live with that one. So yeah, this is the problem. Maybe can someone recommend a crowdfunding platform for individual videos? So I don't mean a regularly monthly thing like the Patreon stuff. Oh, hang on, Alice. Does anybody want to say hello to EVK again? Here we go. Hello. There you are.
Hi.
This is EVK, obviously from the video that I don't know if you've watched it. Literally last week's video. A lot of people impressed with your EV knowledge, and I think the most commented thing was when I asked you about pollution and electric cars and petrol, and you said, "I don't know that because I've not been taught that yet."
My hair's a bit wet.
That's
I've
perfect.
Just been swimming.
You've just been swimming. There you go. So say hello. Say hello, EVK.
Eee.
You gonna say hello?
Hi.
How about, before you disappear, because we're going to turn this off soon, how about a dab, or whatever you call it?
It's Dab.
There you go. Go on then. Here we go. No idea what that is.
Oh, Pogba does it all the time.
Does he?
Yeah.
There you go then. Right, Patreon can do per video, can it? I may look into that. Okay then. Right, okay, so I think I'll stop that now. I think I'm going to have to do more of these live streams. I quite enjoy them, even if it's in addition to normal videos. Good fun. What do you think?
This is my first one. So
Well, actually,
I think.
can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Just sit there a second.
Yeah.
Right. So everyone, you've got 200 people apparently watching you right now.
Oh my word.
Just say hello
Hi.
and say something.
What do I say? Hi. I'm EVK.
Yeah. Have you done it? Have you been doing okay?
I
Right.
didn't know what to say, so I just said hi. I'm EVK.
Oh, there you go then.
Can I
Right.
say
Okay. Thanks, guys. I'm going to stop this now. I would say go on Twitter is probably better than the comments. So at EVManUK, Twitter's at the bottom there. Talk to me on that. I pretty much always reply or insult on Twitter. So yes, thank you guys for watching as usual. I will probably be doing a fair bit of posting up on mainly Twitter, I guess, and maybe a few on the YouTube next week. As I said, whilst we've got this press car that's coming next week. So yes, thanks for watching, guys. See you soon, and I'm going to end the stream now if I can remember how. I think it's that button over there. Right, say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Press that button. There you go.
Which one?
That one.
Which one? Which one?
Right, nice one. Cheers, bye.